everyone. Today we're at a property, a little flat in Birmingham, and we're doing remedial works. I was called by the customer and I did an EICR report on it, so I gave them my recommendations. I let the customer know they don't necessarily have to get us to do the work, but they want to get someone registered, but they chose us. So basically the power's been cut off here. It was a repossession. There was obviously a DIY builder who's done some work, so obviously we've done the dead tests, but as you know yourself, until you turn everything on, you'll never really know everything. But so basically I've given my quote with some caveats in there, obviously. So basically today we're going to be doing the remedial work. So we're going to be changing the fuse box, which is in here. So we've got a fuse box in here. Basically I'm replacing it due to the fact that it's not, there's some things that are wrong with it, but basically by the time you remedy them, you might also put in the latest board. So we're going to put them in with surge protection and RCBO, so we've got segregation, because there's no supplementary bonding in the bathroom, so we're going to change that. I mean, as you can see here, there's cables hanging everywhere, and we've had a DIY. We've got cables in here with hot pipes, which we're going to take out. It's a shower circuit. We've got broken pendants. We'll be replacing those. If you come into this bedroom here, we've got a broken pendant there. We've got an open circuit somewhere, which basically means a ring main is broken somewhere, but it's probably one of these circuits. Or because it's been a DIY person, possibly they broke the ring and not made it, but we'll suss that out later. So I'm replacing that. I'm going to be adding a socket there, changing the pendants, because as you can see here, you know, it's just a matter of upgrading it. I will be changing the switches as well, because I want, you know, I just want it to look new and fresh. So as we come along here, we've got bedroom number 2, we call it. Changing the switch, changing the pendant, replacing that broken socket there. I'm going to be adding a socket over here. So we're going to go through to this room here. This is the kitchen. As you can see, we're going to be taking out a lot of this wiring. We're going to be doing a new kitchen. I'm going to make it basically safe. We're going to come back at a later date when they fitted the kitchen and do it as they want it to. So what we've done in here, as you can see here, someone's tapped off their DIY stuff. So what I'm going to do is we're going to centre up the light here, but they're going to be dropping the ceiling in the back to hide the cable, because they don't want trunking shown. So we'll put that in protection. Well, we're going to put it in protection, doesn't really need it, because it'll be protected by a 30 milliamp RCD, but we will cover over the connections. I'm going to replace this cable going into this house here. The same thing is they're going to put the suspended ceiling, we're going to hang it down, put it in connector blocks, come back on the second fix, and possibly this is where the broken ring main is or something. We don't really know because it's a bit of a DIY job, but we're going to rip it all out the best we can. Yeah, well obviously we're going to make it safe, but we're going to rip it all out and make it tidy. And then that to a double socket. We're going to rip out the old boiler circuit. There was a boiler in this cupboard, but that's going because they've already got a combi down there. Then we come into the lounge. There's a socket there, we're adding one over there. Now this is the best of all DIY. Well, somebody had this on a plug. They split the neutral. They brought it up to a switch. God knows where it goes. I believe it goes to that light. But that's something. We've just disconnected it for now. We're going to suss it out. We're probably going to have to rewire it. But that's something the customer's aware about. So yes, we may have to rewire that. And also, obviously, on an EICR report, we've let them know they've got no smoke alarms, which is not against the regulations. It's a different BS number, but we've made them aware of that, because obviously when you do EICR report, you just report on the electrical safety, yeah, and the compliance with BS 7671. And obviously the smoke alarms is a different BS number, so we just put that in the notes. We've offered them a remedy, basically, to put in 10-year lithium powered interconnected wireless ones by high spec, which are value for money. So we'll be putting a heat, if they want it, we'll put a heat alarm in the kitchen, smoke alarm in the passageway, and we'll put an alarm in the main habitable room, yeah? So that'll cover all bases for them. But anyway, that's enough talking now, let's go. Trunking in this wall, as you can see. So we've got to put fire clips in now because of premature collapse. You've got to do it even though it's low down, you know, a bit much, but you know, you've got to follow the regulations. So we put them in, as you can see here, they're there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get it round to there. You fold that over like that. That's a fire clip in, yeah? That's that part. So now I'm going to put the trunking lid on. And usually we'd run the trunking along the skirting board, but as you can see there's no skirting board. So I asked the customer about it, so they told me to put it here, because really we like to run it along the skirt, so it merges in with the skirting board. And you know, you do whatever the customer wants as long as it's legal. So as you can see here now, putting that in, and there's another clip here, and this is the last clip. Because what I've done, I've put an extra socket in the room, I haven't extended the ring main, I've just spurred off it, yeah? So that's that. All to regulations. There we go, job done.
Right, so we've got all the trunking done and all the sockets are in. Didn't want to bore you with a long install video, so I'm just going to show you the finished product. So the sockets are done in here as well, all angles, all fire clips and all to regulation. So we're going to cork that corner after, because we don't use the internal angles. I think it looks better if you cork them, because the internal angles just look bulky. Don't get me wrong, sometimes you have to use them, but with a bit of cork it blends in when it's been painted. So excuse that there, the wall's out as well, so that's not our shitty work. So, as you can see, you can see, all of this cable's been tidied up now up here. As you seen in the other video when my dad was talking, he was showing all the dodgy stuff that had been done. So everything's been tidied up, got all the cables from around the pipes. We're going to disconnect that in a minute, because cut that off because the shower's getting disconnected. They're going to have one fed off the boiler, and this room is just work in progress. So we're going to get this one done today. Should be done probably in a couple of hours. We've got some other bits to get on with. I'm going to hop on with the board now and get this board all tidy, all changed and all up to the current regs. We've had to run a new bond as well, because there was no bonding to the water. So what I've done is I've run it through the back, a few boards in here. So I've run it down there, 10mm, metal clipped it down there, because there's going to be some units running along here for the kitchen, so it'll be hidden underneath. And I did a bit of angle drilling here through to next door, and I'll show you that in a second. So, but I sort out this still as well, and sort out this. So let's quickly show you in the bathroom of the angle drilling. What an angle drill that is. Banging between the two pipes, on the money, and there's where the incomer is. Schematics for the switches by the looks of things. God knows what I mean though. And one last thing actually. So what I've done is, they've got two places in here where we think the gas could come in. Well, not think. If you look at this looks like where an old gas meter was mounted. So run the bond to here, gonna bond it here. But there's also another one here and a gas shut off there. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna run a bond to both, because we're unsure on where the gas meter is going to be. And I mean, having two, it doesn't hurt, and I mean, they're protected from both angles then, depending on when they come and reinstate the gas, where they choose to put it, because we're unsure. So we're going to cover all bases with that one, and then we haven't got to worry when we leave here that they then decided to put the gas here or there. Right, so I'm going to start doing this board now. So first of all, I'm going to take this off, start labelling up the circuits. I've also got to check the iPad just to check, because there's an open circuit on one of them, but I didn't test this, it was my dad that tested it. So I'm just going to open this up now. As you can see, tails have been cut off because they came in and cut them off. Don't know why, usually they do when people have got to grow on, but there wasn't one in here as far as I'm aware. But what we're going to do, start labelling everything up, get everything in order. So I'm just going to get my tape. So there's the one light in. Okay, we'll sort that out in a second. Let's pull these tails out the way as well. Can start getting in there properly then. Pull these completely out. Some more. Fair play to ever put banding underneath them. I don't usually see that in nip boards this age. Right, that's alright. And then this one. Yeah, that's sorted. Right, we'll pull the main knife out as well. Yeah. Where's that? I need to cut that, the fucking cable tied up to the services. So I'll get rid of that. Right. So basically, as you know, I'm just going to label them up. So that one's lights. Now these lights are running singles, so just going to put a little tag on that. I've done that usually. Took a bit off. I'm going to label this now, put a bit of tape on it, and then we just continue the process along for all of these. So I'm not going to bore you with all of it. I'm going to get these all taped up, start getting the board off, and then I'll show you all once it's on. As you can see, there's no trunking or anything up there. It might be a bit dark to be fair. And yeah, I'll show you the finished product. So we've got the board all off now. Everything's all labelled up, ready to go. So I'll drop some trunking in up here, some trunking down here, tidy it all up. The board started to make a lot more sense now. We started to trim stuff down, because last time when my dad was here, he couldn't get a reading on the cooker circuit, but obviously there was all stuff in here, so he just put it down as an FI, further investigation. Because he didn't know why. Obviously, you're not going to dig too deep on an EICR. You go as far as you can, but at the end of the day, if you can't be found, you'll have to come back and price to sort it out. So I'm going to quickly show you. Where's that cable? That was. This was it, weren't it? Yeah.
No, it's this one, 6mm.
Is it this one? Yeah. So, reason why we couldn't find the cooker circuit was because it was wired into the board, and then literally it was down here behind there, right behind here, just dangling in free air. So yeah, but obviously as you start to strip stuff down, you start to see and stuff starts to make sense. What we're going to do, the kitchen, because the kitchen's got an open circuit, so what we're going to do with the kitchen, as you can see, the kitchen's on the other side there, so we're going to rip these out and just run 2 new legs into the kitchen, and then we'll leave it there for when they've got their kitchen plan and they know where everything's gonna go, sort of thing. So it's better than trying to go and find a problem, because the sockets might not be in positions they want them or whatever, so it's better just to start fresh and we know it's all good. So we got the new board on now. We're just wiring it up, we're just wiring in the RCBOs and everything. We are going to have to extend some of these cables. We've got the trunking in up there. I have to extend some of the cables. I'm going to extend them in the board. I know some people don't like it, but I haven't seen any regulation that says you can't do it. I mean, if you can get away with not doing it, then I wouldn't do it, but sometimes you can only do what you can do. So yeah, but I'm going to get it all done, get these RCBOs wired in, get everything else wired in, and then I'll show you the finished product. It isn't going to be my tidiest board, I'm not going to lie. It isn't going to be a work of art, but sometimes not everything can be a work of art. It matters whether it works and it does its job and its purpose, and it's not unsafe. So we've got the board in now, so we've had to join some inside. Not the tidiest, nearly done now. What we've done is I've continued the bond that I ran to the water onto the gas there. Obviously I know it's the incoming side, but there's no gas meter here, so I've just done the best that we can. So I've got that in, everything's all tidied up in here now. Got a bit of thick trunking up there. Obviously we can't energise nothing until the supplier comes out for the customer, puts a meter in, etc. Don't know whether you've noticed though, this is actually a shared supply with upstairs, so they share the earth, and then the head's just got 2 fuses on. We've quickly walk you around, show you what we've done so far. So we've got the bonding in here as well, because remember we was talking about the extra, well not the extra, we didn't know where the supply was coming in. Fuse spurs all made off, now I just got to close it up for the boiler. Still got to make that off. So yeah, this is the extra light that we put in, so we ran a bit of trunk in, put it on a biscuit, and then continued it down to here and put it on a biscuit again. And then in here is all done, that's the junction box. And what we've done in the kitchen is, instead of looking for the problem, we said to the customer, look, rip it out. I mean, the fuse board's only literally just there. We'll drop 2 new cables in for the ring, and then when they get their plans for their kitchen, they can then do as they please then, and it's a lot quicker, it's less time, and it's done new and it's fresh, so it makes more sense, to be honest.
We're looking for a drop neutral. So DIY Joe's been at it again. I'll show you in a minute. I mean, I could strangle these people, but I suppose without them we wouldn't have work, would we? So we've crossed them over the board. We get the R1s and the R2s. It's very low. You probably find that we've got some parallel paths going on, which means it's reading down the metallic conduit. So obviously you can get the readings low. That's on it. That's on it. I've put that. I've already tested that. I've spurred off the main ring, mate. I've got a reading all over the place of 1.99 here, and it was 0.4. So I know it's related to this. So I might take the back off here and see what's happening, because this also goes to 2 sockets in the kitchen, which the readings are reasonable on, but it's kind of spidered all over the place. As long as we can find this neutral, what's broken, and reconnect it, we're actually going to downgrade this breaker from a 32 amp ring main to a 20 amp, because he's spidered off in places which is non-compliant. So if we put it on a 20 amp, it'll make it compliant, but we've got to find this neutral, because otherwise it's a dangerous situation. I've seen people downgrade it to a 20 amp breaker and say, oh, it wasn't a ring on the neutral. It's just like, well, you shouldn't really do that. You should find the problem, because it's clearly dangerous. So that's what we're going to do. Yeah, I'm going to take the front off here and see what's happening.
So what we've done is, I've got the camera up here, phone camera, with a torch on, and I've found there's an existing socket here, so I believe, hopefully, that it's going to be behind here. So we're going to get the multiple tool now, we're going to cut it out, and hopefully this is where it's dropped out. Look at that.
Excuse me. There we are, DIY Bob's at it again. I mean, it's laughable, but you know, we see all of this stuff and we're used to it. So hopefully we've found the problem.
There's the one leg we could see at the top. That's it there, look.
So we found the problem, we believe. There was an old socket in here. There was an old socket in there, and the neutrals were loose because we're getting a weirdo reading. I mean, have you seen junction? Sorry, have you seen connector blocks like it? It's ridiculous. But anyway, we're going to pull it out, and we're going to put it in Wagos on a whisker box. So, and we're going to make sure none of this kitchen is on the other circuit. We've sussed out that it's on the ring main, but to be cautious, now we've found this neutral, we're going to drop it to a 20 amp breaker RCBO anyway, because it's only doing the lounge in the bedrooms, and that's plenty enough. And then that'll be it.
So we've put it in some push fits, ideal push fits, good push fits, to be honest. Well, everyone's got their preferred ones, but we like these. Don't really want to put Wagos in the wall, tend to find they come out, but these solid. So we put these in here. So I'm going to nip next door to my dad. He's just testing it from here now. So do you want to plug it in?
Yeah, there we go.
I'm going to plug it in and we'll get a test here now. So what's it reading now? 0.10.
And these are deep.
And this is a spur anyway, so it's going to be a higher reading of resistance.
Well, you know, these are decent sockets. They're reading both the same side. They're actually D2 sockets, which are great value for money. We've had a couple go wrong, but not many. But the readings on them are absolutely brilliant, because if you take the back off and dob it in the back, you get the same readings. That means the connections are good inside.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you get the cheap ones and you plug in one side and the reading's way out and you know straight away, but these D2 ones...
Usually lap sockets, usually. Or that kind of calibre. But yeah. Right, we're going to get some R1s and R2s now at the board, because I couldn't, I was getting a bit of a dodgy reading earlier. I was getting a reading really high and then I wasn't getting a reading, so I'm going to get some R1s and R2s and everything should be all reading okay. So as you seen earlier when my dad was testing, we crossed them over to get the R1s and R2s, so I'm going to disconnect them now. And then I'm gonna check the readings again. Now I weren't getting no reading on the neutral last time, so I'm gonna start with that one. Just gonna gnaw the leads out. So I'm gonna move this. Yeah, that's right. Let's calibrate that. Okay, so let's go. Let's go on to the neutral first. Yeah, there we go. 0.18. Yeah, we got the reading now. And that was the reading I was getting for the live earlier, which was 0.18 as well.
I'll put it down in here, yeah?
Yeah, there we go, that is right, yeah. 0.17 on the R1, if you tap that down.
What's the name of this job? So, what circuit's that going to be?
This is going to be circuit 3. No, circuit 4, sorry, because the surge is number 1. Circuit 4, yeah. I'll check the earth now.
One 8 or 1.7, doesn't matter.
Yep, it was 0.18 on the R1.
Yeah.
And then 0.18
1.8 on the RN as well.
Sorry, no, yeah, no, sorry, I've got it wrong. 0.17 on the RN.
Yeah.
And 0.18.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. It's getting to that time.
And what is the earth?
The earth is 0.29.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
But it's a mixture of 1 mil, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, and the R1 plus R2 was 0.10, wasn't it?
Yeah.
At the highest.
So I'll have a space now, so I'll put this.
Right, board's all done now. I know it's not the tidiest, but this is real life, and sometimes you can't always make them tidy as you want to when it's a brand new install. Everything's done now. All trunking's all done, all corked up. We've just got to come back when the supply company come in and put the meter in to energise it and get a live reading then at the board so we can get the earth loop. But all the dead testing's done. We've done dead functional testing as well. So I'm just going to label up the fuse board and then we're going to get out of here. So board's all done now. All put in, all done, all tidy, all labelled up. We left 2 spare spaces because they're kitchen sockets and their cooker, which are not put in yet, which will be in the future when we come back into the kitchen. So I'll put the RCBOs in place so we keep numerical order. I don't know whether anybody noticed during the video, but I was saying this was a shared supply with upstairs. So obviously, this is upstairs. Upstairs is earth. So what I've done was I knocked on upstairs to make sure they were in, asked them if I could isolate their supply, because obviously if I come back next time and I have to do it, they might not be in and I can't just disconnect their earth, or someone might be doing something you don't know, the earth leakage that could be coming back down the earth, which could be a potential hazard, and it's not something you should do anyway. So knocked on, got that done, so when I come back next time, when the supplier has been, just got to connect the tails in and then do the live testing, RCB tests, earth loop and live functional testing. So yeah, also we put this in a choco box in here. So all done, problem found, but gonna get myself home now because it's getting late. So thanks for watching and please subscribe.